Hi, this is Brian Kim. I want to share with you this case of a patient who is post-RK, status post-cataract surgery, and he developed a hyperopic regression. And so this is a piggyback IOL using the Bausch & LI61AO silicone IOL. The patient has a acrylic lens within the bag. He also is a high myope with a very deep chamber, and he has quite a bit of space between the capsular bag and the iris. And so I don't really advocate piggyback IOLs typically, but because this patient really wanted an improved refractive outcome, he was about a +3 spherical equivalent. And so he was really wanting to have a better refractive result. So you can see I made my incision on the left side between the RK marks, and then I'm injecting some intracameral lidocaine, and this is some intracameral cohesive viscoelastic. I'm creating space and lifting up and creating space in the sulcus. And so I'm making my temporal incision between the RK marks. And so I'm pushing more viscoelastic to widen that sulcus space. And this is the LI61 Bausch & Lomb lens. It's a little bit of a different injector. It's a push injector. So you have to go all the way in, trying to make sure the haptic comes out. It's a little bit caught up. Use the cannula to release that leading haptic, making sure the haptic goes into the sulcus space. The optic shoots out very quickly, as you can see. And so the haptic actually went into the anterior chamber, but I'm able to use the cannula to carefully I lift the iris with the cannula and encourage the leading haptic to go into the sulcus. And then I use a multiman to dial the trailing haptic into the ciliary sulcus here. And so I go in with irrigation off, activate irrigation, go underneath the lens, removing any viscoelastic between the in the bag lens and the sulcus lens. It's difficult to appreciate on the video, but this patient again has a very deep chamber, a lot of space between the in the bag IOL and the iris, and as a result, I felt more comfortable putting a piggyback lens in this situation. You can see the lens moving around again, just affirming there's quite a bit of space there. Remove all the viscoelastic and then I hydrate my incisions. So this patient ended up about plano +1 afterward. He was more like, again, +3, +4. And so he was delighted with his refractive result. Again, you don't want to use the same type of lens. You don't want to have acrylic in the bag and an acrylic lens in the sulcus or vice versa. And in this case, this patient had an acrylic in the bag lens. So we put a silicone lens in the ciliary sulcus, and the patient had an excellent outcome. So I hope this was helpful to you, and I thank you for your attention.